After concluding the trilogy against Deontay Wilder, many of us are wondering who Fury is going to fight next. The biggest rumor is Dillan White, as well as Anthony Joshua, and some even say Ruiz. After Fury defeated Wilder on October 9th and Usyk outpointed Joshua just a month before, there's no doubt who the top heavyweights are. But of course, as we know in boxing, the best fighters don't always fight the best. Boxing is agog with many difficulties in making blockbuster fights these days, unlike what it used to be in the 80s and 90s. Back then, the best fought the best. So, who's he most likely to fight next, and why? It's highly unlikely that we'll ever see a fourth fight with Wilder. Fury has stopped Wilder in the last 2 fights and has proven that he is the better fighter. The third fight, while spectacular, was also generally unwanted within the boxing community, and it'll be interesting to see both fighters face other opponents in the near future. Perhaps if Wilder picks up a belt, we might see him fight again, but with hints of retirement and the heavyweight division being so competitive at the moment, he might not ever be a champion again. The most likely opponent that Fury will face next has to be White. White has become the mandatory challenger for the WBC belt, so if Fury wants to keep this belt, he is legally obliged to face him. This will likely be a fight in the UK, as both are British fighters, and it'll be a huge fight for British boxing, period. There have been many debates over the fighter's pay surrounding this fight recently, and Fury's team won an 80% cut of the total purse, leaving White's team with a minority 20% cut. This has caused a whole lot of arguing between the teams, questioning if this fight will even happen. White has argued that he is immensely popular and will attract a lot of revenue, so shouldn't be left with such a small cut. But on the other side, Fury is arguing that he is the champ, the more popular fighter, and should deserve more money. White has recently stated that he will accept the 80 to 20% split if the two can fight in 2022. This will be an interesting fight, and the build-up will be extremely fun to watch, as both fighters have such big personalities. White has come back from his losses and has learned a lot from them. He's a dangerous threat to anyone right now.
You know where I am, you know what time, you know what place. I ain't scared of nobody. I'll come to your backyard, baby, for that, my man. I promise you that.
Anytime,
when you up in the ring with a real fighter, when you in for a real fighter, that's what it's all about, man.
Squad, no bother, no bother.
Fury might just be too much for him. He's hit his prime and looks pretty unbeatable as champion. It'll be an exciting fight, but probably not Fury's biggest test. Another matchup that might be in the works is a fight with another fellow Brit, Anthony Joshua.
You know, I can't believe that AJ has gone and give Ukraine all the heavyweight belts back after all my hard work of relieving them. You big useless dosser. You've let a little steroid man.
Yes.
Come up from middleweight and set about you and take all your belts. But it's going to have to take a real British Lancaster bomber like me to go and relieve the useless little steadhead of the belts and get them back to Britain. You useless dossers. Honestly, bring them to me. The Gypsy King, bring them to me. And I'll put them into place. I'll relieve them of the belts again.
This fight was meant to happen in 2021, but communications fell out due to Wilder's claim for a third fight. During this time, Joshua lost his belts to Usyk. He hasn't recovered them since, so a Fury-Joshua match wouldn't be as huge as it would have been a year ago. Nevertheless, the two fighters are easily some of the best in the division right now, and both have explosive power, so it could be an exciting fight. But it also wouldn't be the same. The Joshua-Fury fight is one meant for the undisputed title. As such, we probably won't see this fight until after Joshua has his rematch with Usyk. If he wins, a Fury fight is almost inevitable. However, he will be a massive underdog, and losing will dramatically reduce his presence in the division. This will make a Joshua-Fury matchup all the less exciting, so we may never see these two share the ring together. A third contender is the other belt holder in the division, Usyk.
Hello, my name is Alexander. Kind kid, Usyk.
How do you feel, heavyweight champion of the world?
I'm very feel.
What's that?
Heavyweight champions.
How's your English?
Perfecto.
How do you feel?
I'm Phil. I'm very Phil.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm very fine.
From the position of things, no fighter deserves a shot at Tyson Fury more than Alexander Usyk. Yes, let's check this out. Usyk outclassed Joshua and currently reigns as the WBA, IBF, WBO, and IBO heavyweight champion of the world, and Fury is the WBC heavyweight champion. As mentioned, Usyk made the move to heavyweight and in late 2021 dethroned Joshua. He has since expressed great interest in fighting Fury to unite the belts and crown one king of the heavyweight division. Fury has also expressed interest in this fight, arguing that Usyk is an incredibly easy opponent for him, due to his major size advantage. The only thing in the way of this fight is Joshua's rematch clause. Joshua has a right to a rematch, and this is looking likely for spring of 2022. There have been talks of a step aside, but these talks haven't seemed to be successful, so it's unlikely that Fury will fight Usyk next.
I want to fight Usyk next for all the belts, and that's it really. And then he can fight the winner. That's it, then I'm done.
If he beats Joshua, then this fight will be made pretty quickly to settle the undisputed champion. But if he loses to Joshua in the rematch, then it's unlikely that Fury will be interested in fighting him. A final name that has been circling the community is Andy Ruiz.
You know, I'm just really blessed to be here.
What an incredible situation, right?
It was amazing.
It was an incredible fight, man. It was incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
It was really amazing. What was amazing was when you got dropped, you kept your composure, you got up, and then he tried to move in for the kill, and then you started landing bombs on him and dropped him. And I remember jumping off the bed while I was watching, going, oh shit. It was wild, man. It was a wild fight.
It was my first time getting dropped, and you know what? I don't feel I was super hurt, you know, because when I got dropped, he hit me with a good right hand, and I took it like a champ. But I got up, man, and I just throwing bombs.
You have fluid punches, man. I mean, it's really interesting to watch. You're so efficient, like the way you throw punches. You're not like grunting and fucking digging. Like there's a lot of guys that you see. There's a tremendous amount of energy that's expended every time they throw punches. But you, man, your punches just come in bunches. They you just fire them off, man.
The combinations that we've been working at the gym. Manny Robles. That's why I had a trainer who throws a lot of combinations. That's good at working speed, so I think we click really good together.
Well, it's such a big asset for heavyweights because most heavyweights, they're throwing big bombs and
they're looking for that one punch.
Yep. Yeah, and you just pile them on, man, and you're throwing them at all these angles, and especially when you get in tight with dudes. You know, like when you're in tight with dudes in these dogfights, your punches are coming at all these different angles. It's so fluid. Yeah. It's beautiful to watch, man.
Oh, thank you, man. Especially with these big guys. I love fighting bigger guys. You know, one time I fought a guy that was shorter than me, and it was kind of hard. So imagine me pressuring bigger guys and throwing these combinations. It works for me really good.
Since losing to Joshua in that rematch in 2019, Ruiz has been very quiet. He's only fought once since, opting to instead work on his physique and get in better shape. A fight with Fury is pretty unlikely for Ruiz for a few reasons. Firstly, he has little right to fight for a belt when he has only won one fight in 2 years. And secondly, Fury has little interest in fighting him. Ruiz would be a massive underdog in the fight, and many fans think it would be a waste of their time. Instead, most boxing fans want to see a fight between Wilder and Ruiz. This fight would determine who could fight for the belt next and would be much more exciting than Fury and Ruiz. But only time will tell what Ruiz is going to do next. He may retire after securing a great payday as champ, or he may keep persevering and get the trilogy fight with Joshua. Ultimately, Fury has a great choice when it comes to his next opponent. Most likely we'll see him fight White. He is the mandatory challenger for the WBC belt, and the two teams are in deep negotiations. This will be a great fight and will pave the way for an undisputed fight in late 2022. We're unlikely to see Fury fight Joshua or Usyk. These two fighters have unsettled business with one another, which needs to be resolved. The winner of this rematch is guaranteed to face Fury though, to unite the division. And as for Ruiz, this fight is unlikely, but the possibility is never out when it comes to heavyweight boxing.